Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. We're going to get started standing. So we're going to stand up nice and tall at the front of your mats, shoulders down, tuck the hips under, bring the feet directly under the hips to bring ourselves into a really strong grounding pose. We're going to open the palms up towards the front, roll the shoulders back and down, lift up the chin. Take a nice big inhale here and exhale, let it go. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale and slowly let it go. Today's class is going to be a gentle beginners to intermediate vinyasa flow. So take your time throughout the class, really listen to your body. Notice when it's asking you to take a break or to pause. Take a few moments right now to set an intention for today's class. Something to keep reminding ourselves, keep bringing our attention back to. With your next inhales, gently begin some shoulder rolls. So these shoulder rolls, we're moving nice and slow, but we're making big movements. Really bring the shoulders in front, bring them up to the ears, bring them around behind you. And then switch directions. We're going to move up to some neck rolls, circles with the forehead. And switch directions. Rising up through center, find that posture once more. Take a big inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus arms, pull those elbows back, pull the shoulder blades together, press that chest forward and open. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, fold it down, bend your knees, really sink down into a loose forward fold. Inhale, round the spine as we rise up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, loose forward fold. Inhale, round the spine, rise up all the way, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold it over. This time, lift up to our flat back on the inhale. Hands slide up the shins or the thighs, anywhere but the kneecaps. We're gonna tuck the tailbone under, lift through that belly button, send the top of the head in front of us, kind of like we're at a 90-degree angle. Take another big inhale here, and then exhale, bend the knees, bring the chest down to the thighs. Hands can go to opposite elbows, head hangs loose and heavy. We can rock side to side here. We can shake our head yes or no. We can just hold still and really sink into the stretch. But we're here for a couple breaths. Just taking a few moments. And with your next inhale, release the arms down. Begin to inhale, round that spine, rise back up. Arms sweep back up overhead. From here, left arm comes down, right hand stretches over. Really reach through those fingertips, open up the right side of the body. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, both arms rise up. Exhale, other side. Left hand stretches over. Inhale, rise up. Exhale down to heart center. Great job, guys. We have just finished up our little warm-up. We're gonna move into some balance poses. Starting with tree pose on our right foot. Hands can stay at heart center. Right foot comes up against the left ankle. Toes on the ground. Here's where we find our drishti, our focal point, something small that's not moving that we can focus every bit of our energy on. We can stay just like this. This is all you have to do for our basic tree pose, or we can move into a little bit of some modifications, starting with our modifications on our foot. We can stay just like this. We can lift up to the calf, or we can lift up to the thigh. The only place we don't want to be is anywhere where you can feel that kneecap. We want to be above or below the kneecap on the left foot. Hands can stay at heart center. We can move it out to a T or lift it up for branches. Wherever we are, we're just staying here for 5. 4, maintaining that breath. 3, 2, and 1. Hands come back down to heart center. We're going to gently release that foot, shake out those ankles, and move on to the left side. Hands at heart center. Left foot comes up to that right ankle. Left foot can stay touching the ground. Lift up to the calf, or lift up to the thigh. Hands can stay at heart center, out to our T, or up for branches. Whatever feels good, whatever's working for us today. Taking a few breaths here, finding that drishti for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it down, shake out those ankles. Moving back to our right foot, we're bringing that right foot up to 90 degrees. Pressing down through that heel, pulling up through those toes. Hands staying at heart center. Option to stay just like this or to send it through that heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee again, and this time we're moving into our warrior 3, sending that foot out behind us, bending forward at the hips, coming into our warrior 3. Options in our warrior 3, hands at heart center or forward. Back foot, right foot can be tapping the ground or lifted, pressing through that heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up, return to that candy cane pose, and then release, shake out the ankles. Switching sides now, left foot lifts up, 90 degree candy cane pose, pressing down through that heel. Option to send it through that heel forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend that knee. Begin to transition into our warrior 3, taking that leg out behind us. Hands at heart center or forward. Back foot, toes tapping on the ground or lifted, pressing through that heel here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise back up, candy cane pose for 3, 2, and release it down, shake it out. Nice little ankle warm up. We're gonna step to the front of our mats. Big inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise up, flat back. Exhale, hands meet the ground, step back to our downward dog. Find your downward dog, begin to pedal out the knees, move those ankles, make some movement here to stretch out the backs of the legs. With your next exhale, hinge out to our plank pose. Inhale, lift up, downward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plank. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plank. Inhale, rise. Hold your downward dog. Check your alignment here. We're going to make sure the heels are directly behind the toes. Heels don't have to meet the ground. Knees can be bent as much as they need to be. We just want to feel that stretch and make sure our hips are really lifting up and back. Take a few breaths here. And with your next exhale, our right foot is going to extend up towards the sky. Point through that toe. Exhale, knee comes into the chest. Send it back up. Exhale, bring it in. Send it back up. This time, exhale, step it in between the hands. Left knee comes down to the mat. Take a nice breath here, and then when you're ready, begin to exhale. Hinge those hips forward. Roll the shoulders back. Bring your weight out of your arms. All of the weight is in your hips here, really getting a deep stretch, deep hip opener. But we're bringing our weight out of our hands, out of the chest, making sure the shoulders are softened. Eye gaze is lifted. Taking a breath. With your next exhale, we're going to hinge it back at the hips. Bring the right toes up towards the face. Straighten out the right leg. And then with your next exhale, hinge it forward, stack the knee over the ankle. Left hand comes down on the inside of the right foot. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. We have two options here. We can stay like this, reaching up towards the sky, or we can take that right hand and reach back for the left foot. Whatever feels better for you, take a breath, maybe play around with both options. And then with your next exhale, right hand comes back down. We're going to bring that right knee back up over that right ankle if it's straight. Both hands on the ground, tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, take a breath. Let the hips sink down into the stretch. Lift and open the chest. And then whenever you're ready, begin to rise up for our warrior one. Arms reaching up towards the sky, right heel is right under the right knee. Back foot has some options. I always give my students two options in this pose just because bodies are different for everybody, and sometimes something might be a little bit more accessible than the other, depending on knee health, hip health, lots of factors. So we want to make sure that our hips are square to the front. But our left foot can be facing the front heel up like mine is right now, or it can be at an angle with the heel down. Eye gaze towards the front, arms reaching up. This is our warrior one with our two options. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it back. Extend it out to our T, and then open up to our warrior two. For our warrior two, our front foot stays the same, right knee right over that right ankle. Left foot turns parallel with the back of the mat. Maybe we sink a little deeper. Arms are parallel with the ground. Drop the shoulders down, turn our eye gaze forward over the right fingers. Take a moment here, tuck that tailbone. Front hand turns over, right hand turns up, palm facing the sky. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches back. And then we're coming forward. Right elbow meets the right knee, left hand reaches back. Over the head, reaching in front. And then come back, reverse warrior, left hand down, right hand back. And then come forward, left hand reaching. We're gonna pause here this time. Option to take that right hand and reach down towards the ground, but we wanna keep our weight out of it. So just reaching with those left hands, right hand reaching down or at the knee. Here for 3, 2, and 1, rise up, warrior 2. From here, we're going to lengthen out both legs, turn to face the long way of the mat. Feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. Arms reach up towards the sky. Take a big stretch, maybe arch that back. And then exhale, fold it down. Hands meet the ground. We're going to take our time to heel toe those feet in or out. Play with the body, notice what the body's asking for. Maybe we want to deepen our stretch, maybe we need to ease it back some. Hands want to be on the ground or a block if you have it in your practice. Knees can be bent as much as we need to, but again, this is an uncomfortable stretch. You just don't want to feel pain. Uncomfortable is good. Hands on the ground. Take an inhale to lengthen through the top of the head. So we're really coming into a flat back here. And then with an exhale, hinge down at the waist. Lead with the chest. Bring the forehead towards the ground. Find your stopping point and stop there. And then allow the body to stretch. So we're just breathing in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. We're here for a couple breaths, so just begin to notice if maybe with our exhales we can sink a little deeper. With your next inhale, begin to rise back up to the palms if we've sunken down to our elbows or our forearms. Left hand comes into center, right hand reaches up towards the sky, stacking those shoulders. Maybe if it feels good, take that arm a little back, open the chest up a little more. Exhale, come down and switch sides. Left hand reaches up. Stack those shoulders, and then if your body's letting you, if your body's feeling it today, we're gonna take that hand a little back, open that chest up a little bit towards the sky. And left hand comes down. Inhale, lengthen out through the spine. Send the top of the head forward, and then exhale, hinge it down back into our forward fold. Take a few breaths here. Allow the muscles to soften into the pose. And inhale, begin to rise up. We're going to heel toe the feet together. Turn the heels in, turn the toes out just about hips width apart, and then let the hips come down to come into our yogi squat. So we're coming into a yogi squat, heels turned in, toes turned out. Hands can be on the ground for support, or they can be up at heart center. If they're up at heart center, we're gonna use our elbows to press and open those hips a little further away from each other. Let your eyes close here, let your body take a few breaths. Begin to bring your attention back to that breath, breathing in through the nose and slowly letting those exhales through the mouth. When you're ready, begin to bring the hands down, lengthen up through the legs. We're going to bring the hands back to the front of the mat, take the feet back to our downward dog. Take a moment to align Reset in our downward dog pose. When you're ready, left foot lifts up towards the sky, point through those toes. Exhale, knee comes to the chest. Send it back up. Exhale to the chest. Send it back up. And exhale, step it through. Right knee comes down. Take a moment and then exhale, sink into those hips. Let the hips draw towards the mat. Lift up and out of the shoulders, out of the arms. Allow all that weight to be pressing those hips down towards the mat. Using hands for balance as needed, but we want to make sure we're not sinking into the arms, but we're keeping the chest and the throat open, keeping that chin lifted. With your next exhale, hinge it back, straighten out the left leg, bring those left toes up towards the face. Take a breath here. And then exhale, hinge it forward, stack that knee back over the ankle. Right hand comes down on the inside of the left foot. Left hand reaches up towards the ceiling or the sky. We have our two options here. We can be reaching up or reaching back for that right foot. Again, play around with these two options. Maybe the last side wanted to do one thing, this side wants to do another. Just listen to the body. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and exhale, left hand comes down. From here, we're tucking the right toes under, lift that right knee up, let the hips sink down in this just for a moment. And then when you're ready, begin to rise up for our warrior one. Arms reaching up towards the sky, taking your time here, making those adjustments. Check to make sure our front knee is stacked right over that left ankle. Back foot can be facing forward, heel up, or at an angle, heel down. Arms are reaching up towards the ceiling or the sky, shoulders sink down. Take a big breath here. And then exhale down to cactus arms. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale back. Inhale, rise. Exhale down. Extend it out to our T and open up to our warrior two. Beautiful job. So take your time settling into your warrior two. Front foot is the seam. We can see that big toe, not our pinky toes, showing that our left knee is directly over that left ankle. Back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Maybe we sink down. Our arms come out to a T parallel with the mat and eye gaze towards those left fingertips. Take a moment to tuck that tailbone. Standing up nice and tall here. Drop those shoulders. Left hand turns over. Right hand comes down, left hand stretches. And then left elbow meets that knee, right hand reaches over. Exhale, come back, reverse warrior. Left hand reaches back. And then coming forward, right hand reaches over. And here's where we pause with that option to take the left hand down towards the ground. Again, we don't want to be putting weight into it. Just reaching, using that core here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise up, warrior two. This time we're going to take our back hand, turn it over, wheel both hands down on either side of that left foot, step that left foot back to our downward dog. Great job. We're finished with our little warrior series here. So we're going to begin to wind down, finishing out with a little stretch here. Take a moment in our downward dog. We're going to bend the knees and bring the chest a little closer to those thighs. And then extend up, downward dog. Exhale, bend the knees, crouch. Inhale, lift up, downward dog. Exhale, bend the knees, crouch. Inhale, lift up, downward dog, and hold. We have the option to move through a chaturanga here. And our option, we can stay here in our downward dog or extend out to our plank pose, lower down 90 degrees or all the way. Inhale, lift, upward dog or baby cobra. And exhale, press back, downward dog. With your next exhale, we're going to begin to bring the knees down to the outer edges of the mat and bring the big toes together. Send the hips back, walk the fingertips towards the front of the mat, let the forehead meet the mat for our child's pose. We're going to remain in our child's pose for a few breaths. So take the time to relax, soften the fingertips, allow the palms of the hands to ground and melt into the mat. Allow the shoulders to relax. Allow the belly to fill the space between the legs. Really take a few breaths here and just let the body soften. Whenever you're ready, you can begin to walk the hands towards the left side of the mat and take that right hand and really stretch it over. And then begin to walk those hands to the right, left hand stretching over this time. Slowly coming back into center. Begin to round the spine as we rise up to a seat and bring the legs out front. So we're going to bring our legs out front. We're coming into a full staff position. So really focus on lengthening the legs. We can press down through the heels, pull the toes back, inch the booty back away from the legs. Anything to feel that stretch in the backs of the legs. We're going to rise up through the spine, let the shoulders grow heavy. Take an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, shoulders lower. Big inhale. And then exhale, hinge at the waist. Keep that chest open, keep the chin lifted. Where the body wants to start to curl, that's when we release the arms down. Take a few breaths. Allow gravity to do the work here while keeping our chest open. With your next inhale, begin to rise to a seat. We're going to take our left leg out at an angle. Right foot comes into the left thigh. Adjust your posture so that we're sitting up nice and tall. Hips are square. Both arms reach up. Left hand reaches towards the left toes. Right hand reaches overhead. We're going to keep the chest open. So we're not turning into the leg, we're keeping those shoulders stacked on top of each other. Reaching up and over with that right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to take that right hand and bring it down, turning towards that left leg and reaching for the toes. We're here for 5. And then from here, we're going to take both hands and walk them towards the front, turning the body so that we're folding over that right ankle this time. And we should feel a little change in the stretch, moving towards the inner thigh area here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Begin to make your way up to our seat. We're going to make a wide diamond shape with our legs, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, relaxing the knees down, but the feet are pretty far away from our bodies. Find that posture, sink those shoulders down, take a big inhale, arms reach up. As we bring our hands down to heart center, we're going to begin to curve the spine, bring the forehead down towards those heels. Inhale, around that spine, rise back up, and we're going to switch sides. Right foot goes out, left foot tucks in. Adjust to find posture, find what feels right in this pose for you, and then take an inhale, arms reach up. Right hand reaches for the toes, left hand reaches overhead. Make sure to keep that chest open and forward. Shoulders are stacked, left hand reaching up and over as far as we can. Feel that rib cage opening for 3, 2, and then bring that left hand down, fold towards the right toes, reach for the toes. You don't need to reach the toes, that's just the direction that you're reaching. Bring the chest down towards the thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then begin to walk those hands towards center, folding over the left ankle. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Begin to rise up. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, this time in our butterfly pose, which means bringing those heels a little closer to the body, but you still want to make sure they're at least a foot's distance away from the body. Let the knees come down with gravity. We're not pressing them down, we're just letting them go with gravity, as heavy as they want. Thumbs find the arches of the feet, the ankles or the calves. Let the eyes close as we sit up in our posture, and add a little pressure with those thumbs wherever it feels good. Here for a couple of breaths on our own. We can stay here for a few more breaths, or if it feels good, we can begin to hinge forward at the waist. Again, bringing the chest down towards the feet, but this time we're still making sure to keep the chest open, to keep the chin lifted, and keep the spine nice and long from the top of the head all the way down to the tailbone. So we don't want to curl the spine here, we want to keep it long and straight. Have a bird friend in this video that really has a lot to say. With an inhale, begin to round that spine as we rise back up to a seat. We're going to bring a bend to those knees. Plant the feet down on the mat. Hands behind the thighs. Press that chest forward, lift it and open, pull those shoulder blades back, and then exhale, arch the back, chin tucks in, seated cat pose. Inhale, lift it up, seated cow, arch the back, press that chest forward, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, back to our seated cat pose. Inhale, lift it up, press that chest forward. And then exhale, this time we're coming all the way down to our backs. Bring the knees into the chest. We're gonna draw some circles with the knees. And we're gonna switch direction of our circles. And then bring the knees into the chest. We're going to wrap the arms around the legs, either behind the thighs or around the shins, anywhere but the kneecaps. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees for 3, 2, and 1. Relax the head down. Feet find the mat. Hands come down by our sides, palms down. Take a moment to tuck the shoulder blades under, to untuck the tailbone and ground through that lower back. With your next inhale, we're going to lift the hips up, reach the hips towards the sky, squeeze those glutes, squeeze those knees towards each other. Take a big inhale and exhale, gently lower down, nice and slow, bringing that tailbone down last. Inhale, begin to rise back up, squeeze those glutes, squeeze those knees together. And exhale, slowly lower it down. Tailbone comes down last. Inhale, rising up, last one. Reach those hips up towards the sky, squeeze those knees. And exhale, bring it down nice and slow. We're going to take our right ankle and cross it over to the left knee. Coming into a figure 4 here, take your hands, wrap them around the left thigh, and then hug those legs into the body. We can add a little ankle roll with our left ankle here. And switch direction of your ankle roll. Gently release that left foot down. Instead of uncrossing the legs, we're actually going to cross the right leg over even more. And then let those knees go down on the left side. We want to bring them down as far as we can without bringing our right shoulder off the ground. We want to keep our right shoulder grounded. So stop when that right shoulder starts to lift up. We're going to extend the right arm out. Palm up and turn our gaze towards the right fingertips. We can use our left hand to add a little weight to the legs if we want to increase that twist some. We can also make whatever modifications or adjustments you'd like to make in this gentle twist. We can extend the legs, uncross them, whatever your body's asking to do. The point here is to just wring out the spine, release some of that tension. Just a gentle twist. We're here for about 5 full breaths, so take your time. Allow the muscles to soften. Allow yourself to sink a little deeper with those exhales. Slowly making your way back to center. Uncross the legs, plant both feet down on the mat. We're gonna take the feet out to the edges of the mat and then let the knees meet together in the center. Take a moment here, hands can come to the belly and just focus on our breath for a few rounds. Breathing in through the nose, filling that belly as much as we can, lifting that belly button towards the sky. And then with our exhales, feel that belly button grow heavy, sink down to the spine as we release everything. 2 more rounds of breath here. When you're ready, begin to heel toe the feet back together. Left ankle crosses over to the right knee. Hands wrap around the back of the right thigh. Hug those legs in for our figure 4. Add a little ankle roll. And then switch direction of your roll. Gently release that right foot down. Again, don't uncross the legs, but rather cross that left leg over a little more, and then let the knees come down onto the right side. Left arm extends out, palm turned up, eyes gaze towards those left fingertips. And we're just taking our breath here, nice and slow. Keep that left shoulder grounded. Allow the muscles to soften and make any adjustments or modifications your body wants. Again, you can uncross the legs, extend the left leg out long. You can use your right hand to bring a little weight towards those legs to make them sink a little deeper into the twist. But just be patient with your body and allow the muscles to soften on their own at their own pace. We're going to gently come back into center. Uncross the legs. Bring both knees into the chest, and then send the heels up towards the sky. Press up through the heels, pull the toes down, hands to the backs of the thighs. Take a few breaths here in this modified legs up the wall pose. We can stay just like this. We have the option to add in our arms and come into a little dead bug. But wherever we are, we're just letting the blood reverse flow, letting the blood drain from the toes, maybe the fingers. Whenever you're ready, begin to transition into our happy baby, bending the knees and bringing the knees down by the sides of the ribs. Hands come to the outer edges of the feet. Heels stay pressing up towards the sky. Knees are at about a 90-degree angle or whatever your body's allowing for you today. We can stay here, staying still, or we can rock side to side. We can extend one leg out or the other or both. Just whatever movements or non-movements your body is asking of you today. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees together. Plant the feet down on the mat. Begin to transition into whatever Savasana pose is calling to you. So maybe it's staying just like this with the knees bent. If you want to stay like this with the knees bent, I encourage you to move those feet out and let the knees meet together in the center, just so that you're not using energy to hold up your legs. You can transition into our butterfly pose, bottoms of the feet together, knees out, or we can transition to just the normal Savasana pose, very traditional, legs out long, arms down by our sides, palms up. Wherever you are, make those modifications and adjustments. Tuck the shoulders under, untuck the tailbone, ground through that lower back. Inch the feet a little closer towards the toes and the bottom of the mat. And just take a few breaths here. Allow your body to settle. Give it time to make those movements, to make those adjustments. You're going to remain in this Savasana pose for a few moments. I'm going to begin to rise up to a seat and guide you through a gentle body meditation and relaxation. Starting at your toes, just begin to soften, relax. Maybe curl the toes really tight and then soften. Notice any tension or any energy that you're holding in your ankles. If your legs are out long, allow the toes and the legs to fall away from each other. The toes pointing in opposite directions. Notice the heels pressing into the mat. Relax the knees, again, maybe giving them a squeeze and then relax. Notice tension being held in the hips. Give the glutes and the hips and the core a squeeze and then soften. Imagine the hips opening up, releasing tension into the mat. Bringing attention back to the breath. Bring in a deep inhale through the nose. Fill that belly again. Lift that belly button as high as you can to the ceiling. And then exhale nice and slow through the mouth. As we release that breath, drop that belly button all the way down to the spine. Squeeze out every last breath. Bring in that inhale. Lift that belly. Feel that belly growing. And then exhale. Allow that belly to sink down. Continue with a few more of these dynamic breaths, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Maybe adding a little length to those breaths as we proceed. Soften the fingertips and the palms of the hands. Maybe draw some really tight fists and then gently release the fingertips and let the hands grow heavy into the mat. Turn the palms up towards the ceiling if they're not already. Notice the weight of the elbows in the mat. Begin to notice here if we can add an inch or two between the shoulders and the ears, maybe lengthening the arms out, bringing the fingertips a little closer towards the bottom of the mat. Notice the rise and fall of the rib cage with each breath. Maybe the soft rustle of clothing. Soften the jawbone, the cheeks, and the eyelids. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Allow the lips to softly part. Bring your attention to the center of the forehead. And with the last few moments of today's Savasana, I encourage you to think of some new intention, something that you can bring with you for the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week, something positive that you can keep reminding yourself, keep focusing on, and maybe something positive that you can send out into the world as well. Begin to add movement back just by wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, maybe rocking the head from ear to ear, giving the back of the head a little massage with the mat. Begin to bring a slight bend to the legs, planting the feet back firmly on the ground. And then whenever and however your body feels most comfortable, begin to press yourself up to a seated position, hands at heart center, eyes closed, sitting up nice and tall, let the shoulders sink down. With an inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, relax. Inhale, squeeze, and exhale, release. Inhale, rise, and exhale, let go. Thank yourselves for practicing today and giving your bodies and your minds the attention it needs. I thank you for allowing me to guide your practice today. The energy in me honors the energy in you. Namaste.